Excellent. Another episode of the Hippy Gourmet Show. I love this show. This show is excellent.
Hey, there's nothing like cooking on an open fire, especially when you have plenty of dry wood, keeping the forest clean, and it makes a nice ripping fire. I've got some softwood, creates a very hot, quick fire, which is what we want. I'm going to do some saute. I'm also going to be making some amaranth, Jamalaya, and gets you outside. Enjoy the weather.
Amaranth, is that like some kind of grain?
This grain may be a little tricky to find, but it's worth the search. This is thousands of years old, similar to quinoa. In about 25 minutes on a low simmer, and my fire is perfect, we're going to have some amaranth jambalaya. Yeah! Now these will expand quite a bit, so you only need half a cup or so per portion. 1 cup to 3 cups of water. This is probably the most important thing, is that it's packed with phosphorus, a very important dietary addition. This plant is one of the most famous plants. It's the same thing that fueled the Native Americans, the Central American Indians, and it's basically a weed. You can find this growing wild, and it's like a vegetable when it's fresh. But dried, it'll store just like rice for a long time. No refrigeration, just keep it dry, cool. Makes a wonderful grain. So nice, it's almost like a fine sand, kind of like birdseed. Very cool, and it would make great for putting in a pillow or something, or a bean bag. It's just such a nice feel. And then we're gonna add our 3 cups of water. And then I like my little seashell to hold the sea salt. About a teaspoon will do just fine. And we'll set that right on the fire. Give it a stir, make sure it's all incorporated in there. And then just get all the grains off the side pretty much. And that's it. Let this simmer. 25 minutes. We're gonna have an awesome, ancient, new flavor. This is so cool, the way it forms these little clusters, almost like it's an alive thing. It comes together like little clusters of molecules or something. I'm going to put just a dab white pepper, maybe 1/4 teaspoon. Ripping boil. We'll cover that and slide it on over to the low part of the fire. Take about 25 minutes on a low simmer now. Yeah, that amaranth is almost done. It's been 25 minutes. Oh yeah, simmering. It's absorbed all the water. That's how you want to leave it. It's kind of the consistency of grits. And I know I love my grits. So this is perfect, just a nice simmer. Nice texture, very nutty, with a hint of smoke. Good stuff.
Veggie jambalaya? That sounds spicy.
I feel like I should be juggling because I'm making jambalaya. And this is a veggie stew with zing. What gives it the zing? Chopped hot peppers, otherwise known as cayenne, but I'm going to use it in its more raw form or unprocessed. It's just pepper flakes. So besides peppers, which is probably the main flavor, I'm going to use a couple of yellow squash, some celery with all of the leaves, the center core, I like to use all those baby leaves, and one nice onion, I'm going to dice that, and necessary garlic. Large dice. Yellow squash. It's out of season now, but we're lucky enough to be in California. These you can get all year round. This one has got some little surprises in there. Check that out. Looks like a record green pepper to me. This thing must be close to half a pound. What a pepper. I hope they brought it to the county fair. I think that's a blue ribbon pepper right there. About the juiciest pepper I've ever seen. I feel like making juice out of it. And this is so bright red, you may have to wear sunglasses to watch this one. And always, if possible, use that center leaf when you're doing a saute or flavor-packed and nutrient-packed part of the entire thing. And so many times I've seen people throw these away. And organic is always the best. Whenever you can, unless they're out of your garden, and that should be organic too. Canned tomatoes is not cheating, so try and find the organic ones, gently break them up, and that way you leave sort of nice bite-sized pieces, but at the same time, it's not the mundane chunk. Voila! Who said breaking up is hard to do? Very quick dish to prepare. You can chop these, have them in the fridge a day in advance. You've got a fresh, vegan, veggie delight. Let's go throw this on the fire. Don't forget, preheat the pan so nothing sticks. Pan on fire. Fire's a funny thing. Sometimes you have to blow on it to heat it up. Sometimes you blow on it to cool things down. Always start your saute with some oil. In this case, I'm using some nice extra virgin. Get your pan completely oiled. And then we start with the garlic. Now we can add the vegetables. Now, just as it's beginning to sizzle, wilted a little bit, time to add the spices. Here's probably the most important flavoring and ingredient. It is the pepper flakes with the seeds intact. This adds quite a lot of fire. So about half a teaspoon, and that's going to give it a nice flame effect. Plus some marjoram. This is a sweet herb. It has a nice flavor, gives it a sweetness. About a half a teaspoon of that, and a half a teaspoon of thyme. And some salt, just salt to taste. A little marjoram, our little thyme, half teaspoon. Very gentle on the red flake peppers. You don't want to make it too spicy. And then our salt, about a half a teaspoon of salt. What a smell, what a flavor. Woo! Now, in goes our tomato. There is our broken up tomatoes. Nice crushed whole tomatoes. Go right on top. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. Perfection. Muy bien. Fantastico. Darn nice. That's perfect.
Apple and fig compote? I didn't know you could make that in a barbecue.
Well, I'm making a fruit compote for dessert. I'm going to use some apples. I'd like to have fresh figs, but I'm going to use the dried figs. I've de-stemmed them. I've cut them in half so they're nice and tender. These are going to get sauteed with a little dash of butter, some brown sugar, and a splash of sherry. This one is a Granny Smith, this one is a Fuji, both of which are perfect cooking apples. Something that'll be firm, hold its texture once it's cooked. I'm going to serve this in a little dish, so I want to make them sort of toothpick size or small fork or small spoon. So I'm going to quarter them again like that, and then leave them sort of perfect. And just destem. That little tip is kind of woody, so you want to take off the very tip. A little bit of butter in the pan to start with. And again, swirl that around, get the pan nicely coated. We're going to throw our apples right in there. Something about cooking apples over an open fire, don't know what it is. I want them just to the point of firmness. You want to see me test them? Just, oh yeah, perfect. Again, I wish I had fresh figs, but dried ones will work. Add them once your apples are softened. Give them a little stir. Nice, huh? Look at that, beautiful color. And I'm going to put about 4 or 5 tablespoons of brown sugar on there. By doing this, you're creating a caramel sauce. Yeah. Beautiful. A little sherry on the top. That's it. There we have it. Beautiful fruit compote, little sherry, caramelized brown sugar, right on your barbecue. Who said only hot dogs and hamburgers are something you can cook on the barbecue? Tell me that. It's ready to go into my serving dish. And then you add your reduction of sherry and butter and brown sugar in there. And that's one delicious compote right there with the figs, the apples, and our cool little warming thing that'll hold it nice and perfect until we're ready to eat it. Now that amaranth is very rich and very nutritious, so I'm going to be a little stingy, although you can have as much as you like. That with some jambalaya. Beauty. And you get the little treat and a little green onion. Jambalaya. This is a festive dish. You've got amaranth and jambalaya. I think I can feel the Aztec presence. Cheers.
Cheers, Bruce.
Excellent. Thank you, Eric, for all the help. I'm going to taste this. Wow. Fantastic. I can feel the Aztec gods. Such nutrition, such a different texture. You've got to try amaranth. It is fantastic. Not to mention jambalaya with a little vino rojo. Wow.
Hippy Gourmet, my favorite TV show.